ain't Christian, they ain't worried about what their eyes doing, what their hands doing, and what they watching. They're not concerned about
Right.
that. But we are,
Right. Not at all.
and we find ourselves struggling. Like, why am I struggling so much? And the man said, the author said, look, we have poured out the kingdom into this pot. And what was supposed to happen was that we should either pour the pot out first of all the cultural uncleanliness and all the things that are not kingdom first, or what we pour in is supposed to drive what's in the pot out. But instead,
Yes.
we've allowed it all to commingle and blend together. And he was like, therein lies the problem. And as soon as he said that, I was like, oh, snap. We have accepted this idea of a melting pot when it should have been a smelting pot.
Very true. Very true. That's good point. It's even when because you kind of brought this up in the matter of cooking, right? Because whenever you're doing the cooking a pot of chili or a stew or a soup, the objective is that you put all the ingredients in, and the thought is that eventually all of those different flavors will begin to marry. They marry, right? They come into union with each other, right? But the thing is that what you're talking about with the smelting pot, even though this is hot, I'm going to use it in the cold version of it. Is that when we wash dishes and you put all of these dishes that are dirty inside, the objective is to separate the dirt from the dish, right? It's to separate the dirt. I don't put the dishes in dishwater for the dirt and the dish to marry. Actually, the
Mhm.
objective is to separate the two of them so that the dish is clean and the dirt is separated from it. But we've accepted, like you said, over so many generations that we're supposed to be all these ingredients put inside of this pot and allow the fire of it to just allow everything to marry together. When we know apostolically that is not why Christ was calling the kingdom from heaven down to earth, wasn't for it to marry everything. Actually, we're called the bride of Christ because we marry him, but he separates in order to marry what's clean and not to marry everything else.
I like that you keep using this word marry too, because that evokes the thought of a covenant, an
Yes.
agreement. And we have very much come into, oh, it's okay. This is men's nature. This is what we're supposed. And it's like, no, it is the nature of our flesh, but it is not
Yes.
the nature of our spirit,
Right.
right? It is in our biology, but it should not be in our theology, right?
Yeah.
And so we have allowed a marriage of sorts to happen that should not be so.